The cabin stood alone on the mountainside, wrapped in December snow that muffled the world into silence. Maya pressed her forehead against the frosted window, watching fat snowflakes drift through the darkness. Behind her, the fire crackled, casting dancing shadows across pine walls and worn furniture. Coffee? The voice made Maya's heart skip, even after 3 days of hearing it. She turned to find Alina emerging from the small kitchen to steaming mugs in hand. Even in an oversized sweater and wool socks, Alina moved with an unconscious grace that made Maya's chest ache. "Thanks," Maya said, accepting the mug and wrapping her cold fingers around its warmth. Their hands brushed, and Maya pulled away too quickly, nearly spilling the coffee. Elena's dark eyes flickered with something concern. Curiosity, before she settled onto the worn couch, tucking her legs beneath her. "Storm's getting worse. I checked the radio. Roads won't be clear until at least tomorrow afternoon." Tomorrow afternoon. More time trapped here, lone with Alina. More time pretending that her best friend of 10 years was just her best friend, nothing more. Maya's stomach twisted with equal parts dread and desperate hope. "Guess we're stuck then," Maya said, trying for lightness and landing somewhere near strained. She sat in the armchair across from Alina, maintaining careful distance. They'd come to the cabin for what was supposed to be a casual winter weekend with their whole friend group, a last hurrah before Elena's move to Portland for her new job. But car troubles, scheduling conflicts, and finally this blizzard had conspired to leave just the two of them, alone, in a cabin with one bedroom and too many unspoken truths hanging in the air between them. "Maya," Alina said softly, "you've barely looked at me since yesterday. Did I do something wrong?" The concern in Elena's voice nearly broke Maya's resolve. 10 years of friendship, of late-night conversations and shared secrets, of holding each other through breakups and celebrating victories, and Alina still didn't know the biggest secret of all. "No," Maya said quickly. Too quickly. "I'm just tired. The storm's making me restless." Alina studied her with those perceptive eyes that saw too much. "You're lying." Maya's hands tightened around her mug. "I'm not you do this thing," Alina interrupted, leaning forward. "When you're lying or hiding something. You won't make eye contact and your voice gets half an octave higher. You've done it since college." Of course Alina knew. Alina knew everything about Herx, the one thing that mattered most. "Alina, please." Maya's voice cracked. "Just leave it alone." But Alina was already moving, crossing the space between them and kneeling beside Maya's chair. She placed a gentle hand on Maya's knee. "Whatever it is, you can tell me. You know that, right? There's nothing you could say that would, I'm in love with you." The words erupted before Maya could stop them, raw and desperate. The silence that followed felt like falling off a cliff, that horrible suspended. Moment before impact, Elena's hand on her knee went very still. Maya couldn't breathe, couldn't look up, couldn't take back the words that hung between them like smoke. "What?" Alina whispered. Maya forced herself to meet Elena's eyes. "Might as well finish destroying everything now. I'm in love with you. I have been for years. And I know you're straight, and I know you're leaving. Kate, and I know I've just ruined everything. But you kept pushing and her voice broke. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." She tried to stand, to flee to the bedroom or outside into the storm anywhere but here. But Alina's hand tightened on her knee. "Wait," Alina said. Her voice shook. "Just wait." Maya froze, hardly daring to hope. Elena's face was unreadable, shock and something else warring in her expression. "You're in love with me," Alina repeated slowly, as if testing the words. "For years." Maya nodded miserably. "Since that night after your sister's wedding, when we danced in the hotel parking lot and you laughed, and the street lights caught in your hair, and I just—" She shook her head. "I've been hiding it ever since. Watching you date those guys who never deserved you, pretending my heart wasn't breaking every time. I thought I could keep it buried. But being here alone with you, knowing you're leaving—" Tears burned her eyes. "I'm sorry. I never wanted to put this on you." Alina's hand trembled against her knee. When Maya finally looked at her, Alina's eyes were bright with unshed tears. You danced with me in that parking lot, Alina said quietly, because I told you I felt so lonely, that I'd just watched my sister marry her soulmate, and I wondered if I'd ever find that kind of love. Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. Do you remember what happened after? Maya remembered. Alina had rested her head on Maya's shoulder as they swayed to music only they could hear. And Maya had held her, breathing in her perfume, memorizing the moment because she knew it was as close as she'd ever get. I pulled away, Alina continued, because if I'd stayed in your arms one more second, I would have kissed you, and I was terrified of what that meant. The world tilted. Maya stared at Alina, unable to process what she was hearing. I've spent 5 years, Alina said, her voice shaking, convincing myself I was straight. Dating men I didn't love because that was easier than admitting the truth. And the truth is, Say took a shuddering breath, I think about you constantly. When good things happen, you're the first person I want to tell. When I'm scared or sad, it's your voice I need to hear. And when I lie in bed at night, it's your face I see before I fall asleep. Alina. Maya breathed. I took the Portland job, Alina continued, tears now sliding down her cheeks because I thought distance would help, that I could escape these feelings and figure out how to go back to just being your friend. But the thought of leaving you has been killing me. I couldn't understand why until she laughed wetly. Until right now, apparently. Maya slid from the chair to kneel in front of Alina, their faces inches apart. Are you saying? I'm saying I don't think I'm straight, Alina whispered. I'm saying that every guy I've ever dated was just a distraction from you. I'm saying that I'm terrified and confused and I don't know what I'm doing, but... She reached up with trembling fingers to cup Maya's face. I'm saying I want to find out what it feels like to finally stop pretending. Maya's heart hammered so hard she thought it might burst from her chest. Are you sure? Because if this is just curiosity, or Alina pulled her forward and kissed her. The world exploded into sensation. Elena's lips were soft and uncertain against hers. But when Maya gasped and kissed back, Elena made a small, desperate sound and deepened the kiss. 10 years of longing, of holding back, of careful distance, all of it shattered in an instant. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Alina laughed through her tears. I'm sure, she whispered against Maya's lips. God, I'm so sure. How did I not know? How did I not see? You weren't ready to see it, Maya said, stroking Elena's hair with shaking hands. And that's okay. We get to figure this out now together. If that's what you want, it's all I want. Lena kissed her again, tender and searching. I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be gay. Maya supplied gently. Queer, into women. You don't have to label it right now, Alina. You don't have to have all the answers tonight. But what about Portland? I signed a lease. I start work in 3 weeks. Maya's heart clenched, but she forced herself to stay calm. We'll figure it out. We've survived long-distance friendship before. Maybe we can. I don't want long distance, Alina interrupted fiercely. She grabbed Maya's hands. I just found you. I just finally let myself understand what I've been feeling. I don't want to be 1,000 miles away. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe there are jobs here. Maybe Portland was always the wrong choice. Elena's eyes were wild, desperate. Or maybe you could come with me. Your design work is all remote anyway. We could breathe, Maya said, squeezing Elena's hands. We have time to figure this out. Let's not make any huge decisions in the middle of a snowstorm at midnight when we've just... She smiled through her own tears. When we've just turned our entire lives upside down. Lena laughed shakily. Very practical of you. One of us has to be. Maya stood, pulling Alina up with her. Come on, let's sit by the fire. They settled on the couch, and after a moment's hesitation, Alina curled against Maya's side. It felt like coming home and stepping off a cliff, simultaneously familiar and terrifying and perfect. Tell me, Alina said quietly, tracing patterns on Maya's arm. When did you know? About liking women. Maya thought back. College, probably. There was this girl in my philosophy class. I spent the whole semester finding excuses to talk to her, thinking I just wanted to be her friend. Then she kissed me at a party, and everything clicked into place. She smiled ruefully. I never told you because you were so wrapped up in dating Tyler at the time. I convinced myself you wouldn't understand. I'm sorry, Alina whispered. I'm sorry you felt like you had to hide that part of yourself from me. You weren't ready to hear it, Maya said. And maybe I wasn't ready to tell you. Not when I was already falling for you. She pressed a kiss to Elena's hair. What about you? Have there been any signs? Any women you noticed before? Alina was quiet for a long moment. There was this barista at the coffee shop near my office. I found myself going there almost every day, even though it was out of my way. I told myself it was just good coffee, but, she laughed softly. She had these incredibly kind eyes, and I would watch her hands while she made drinks. One day she wrote her number on my cup, and I panicked and threw it away. And you didn't wonder why you panicked. I wondered. But it was easier to push it away, to tell myself I was just being weird. Alina tilted her head up to look at Maya. How many times did I talk your ear off about my relationship problems? About feeling disconnected from the guys I dated? A lot, Maya admitted. And you never said anything? Never suggested that maybe the problem wasn't the specific guys? But she shook her head. You must have known. Or suspected. I suspected, Maya said carefully. But Alina, you had to figure that out yourself. If I'd said something before you were ready, you might have pulled away from me completely. I couldn't risk losing you, so you just suffered in silence. Watching me be with people I didn't love while you were right there. The pain in Elena's voice made Maya's chest ache. It wasn't your fault. You didn't know how I felt. But if I'd been braver, if I'd let myself examine my feelings more honestly, Alina sat up, turning to face Maya fully. How much time did we waste? Hey, Maya said firmly, cupping Elena's face. No, we don't do that. We don't torture ourselves with what-ifs. We're here now. That's what matters. Alina kissed her again, and this time there was less desperation, more wonder. When they parted, she rested her forehead against Maya's. I can't believe I get to do this now. Just kiss you whenever I want. Well, whenever I consent to being kissed, Maya teased gently. Elena's laugh was breathy and warm. Obviously. So, do you consent to being kissed right now? Instead of answering, Maya pulled Alina closer, threading her fingers through Alina's dark hair. They kissed slowly, learning each other, making up for years of careful distance. Elena's hand slid under Maya's sweater, tentative and questioning, and Maya shivered at the contact. Is this okay? Alina whispered against her lips. More than okay. Maya's voice came out rough. But Alina, we should talk about boundaries. About what you're comfortable with. This is all new for you, and I don't want to push. I know. Lena pulled back slightly, her cheeks flushed. I've thought about touching you so many times. I told myself I was just curious what it would be like, since I'd only been with men. But it was never curiosity. It was want. She took Maya's hand and placed it over her racing heart. I'm nervous, but not because I don't want this. I'm nervous because I want it too much. They stayed up half the night, talking and kissing and talking more. Alina asked questions about Maya's past relationships, about how she'd navigated coming out, about what it was like loving someone who didn't know. Maya answered as honestly as she could, while also sharing her own questions about Elena's feelings and experiences. I think I've been performing straightness for most of my life, Elena said at one point, curled up under a blanket with her head in Maya's lap. I dated the guys I was supposed to date. Felt the things I was supposed to feel or pretended to. It became so automatic that I didn't question it. And now? Maya asked, running her fingers through Elena's hair. Now it's like someone turned on lights in a room I didn't know was dark. Alina caught Maya's hand and kissed her palm. I keep having these moments where things suddenly make sense. Like why I always got so jealous when you dated other women, even though I told myself I was just being protective. Or why I spent so much time thinking about you, planning my day around when I might see you. I did the same thing, Maya admitted. Structured my whole life around our friendship because it was the closest I could get to having you. They fell asleep on the couch as dawn broke, wrapped in each other's arms. When Maya woke a few hours later, Alina was already awake, watching her with soft eyes. "Hi," Alina whispered. "Hi yourself." Maya stretched, wincing at her stiff muscles. "How long have you been awake?" "A while. I was worried if I fell back asleep, I'd wake up and this would all be a dream." Lena's smile was shy. "But you're still here. This is real, very real." Maya kissed her softly. "How are you feeling? Any regrets?" In the daylight, Alina shook her head firmly. "No regrets. Except maybe that we didn't do this sooner." She paused. "Is it weird that I feel guilty? Like I've been lying to myself and everyone else for so long?" "Not weird at all," Maya assured her. "Figuring out your sexuality isn't a linear process. You weren't lying, you were learning. And you get to define this however feels right to you." They made breakfast together, moving around the small kitchen with newfound ease. Every accidental touch sent sparks through Maya, and she caught Alina watching her with wonder, as if seeing her for the first time. "I called my landlord in Portland," Alina said over coffee. "Left a message saying I need to discuss my options for breaking the lease." Maya's heart jumped. "Alina, you don't have to. I know I don't have to. But I want to." Lena set down her mug and took both of Maya's hands. "I've been miserable about moving. I convinced myself it was just fear of change, but it was more than that. I was leaving behind the person who matters most to me, and for what? A job I'm not even that excited about." "But it's a huge opportunity," Maya protested, even as hope bloomed in her chest. "There will be other opportunities here, with you." Elena's voice was steady now, certain. "I don't want to start this relationship, Hiff. That's what we're calling it by immediately putting 1,000 miles between us. I want to be here. I want to see where this goes without the pressure of looming separation, if that's what we're calling it." Maya repeated with a small smile. "What else would we call it?" Alina bit her lip. "I don't know. I've never had a girlfriend before. Is that what we are? Girlfriends. That word feels so strange on my tongue." "We can use whatever word feels right," Maya said. "Partners, dating, seeing each other, or no label at all for now." "Girlfriends," Alina said, testing it out. She smiled. "My girlfriend, Maya. Yeah, I like that." Maya's heart soared. "I like it too." They spent the rest of the day in comfortable domesticity, reading by the fire, cooking together, talking about everything and nothing. The roads remained impassable, but neither of them minded being trapped together anymore. That evening, as snow continued to fall outside, Alina pulled out her phone. "I should call my mom. Tell her I'm okay, that the storm hasn't knocked out all communication." "Do you want privacy?" Maya asked. Alina hesitated. "Actually, would you stay? I think I want to tell her about us. About me." Maya's eyes widened. "Are you sure? You just figured this out yourself yesterday. There's no rush to come out to anyone." "I know, but my mom has been my sounding board for everything. And I think saying it out loud to someone other than you will make it feel more real. Help me process it." Alina squeezed Maya's hand. "Plus, she loves you. This won't be a shock to her." "How do you know?" Alina laughed. "Because she's been asking me for years why I haven't married you. I always told her we were just friends, but she'd give me this look, like she saw something I refused to see." "Moms usually do," Maya said with a smile. Alina made the call, putting it on speaker. Her mother answered on the second ring, relief evident in her voice. "Alina, thank God. I've been worried sick about you two up there in that storm." "We're fine, Mom. The cabin's well stocked and the power's holding steady. Is Maya with you?" "Put her on, too." "I'm here, Mrs. Rodriguez," Maya called out. "How many times have I told you to call me Carmen? Mrs. Rodriguez makes me feel ancient." The warmth in her voice was palpable. "Are you girls staying warm?" "Very warm," Alina said. glancing at Maya with a secret smile. Actually, Mom, there's something I need to tell you. Oh, Carmen's voice took on that particular quality mothers have when they sense news. Alina took a deep breath. Maya and we're together. Like romantically together. And I know this might come as a surprise, but I think I'm gay. Or queer. I'm still figuring out the terminology. There was a long pause. Maya held her breath, squeezing Elena's hand. Then Carmen laughed, not mockingly, but with what sounded like relief. Oh, honey, I've been waiting for you to figure that out for about 5 years now. Elena's jaw dropped. What, sweetheart? I've watched you look at Maya the way your father looks at me. I've listened to you talk about her with stars in your eyes. And I've watched you date all those nice boys who were completely wrong for you because they weren't Maya. Why didn't you say anything? Alina demanded. 'Cause you had to discover it yourself. But I'm so glad you finally did. Carmen's voice softened. How are you feeling about all this? Alina glanced at Maya, her eyes bright. Scared, confused, but also more certain than I've felt about anything in a long time. Mom, being with Maya feels like coming home. That's how it should feel, Carmen said warmly. And Maya? Honey, you're still there. Still here, Maya confirmed, her voice thick with emotion. You take care of my daughter, okay? And Alina, you take care of Maya too. Love is precious, no matter what form it takes. After they hung up, Alina collapsed against Maya, half laughing, half crying. That was easier than I expected. You're lucky, Maya said, thinking of her own conservative parents' reaction when she'd come out. Not everyone gets unconditional support. Alina lifted her head. What about your parents? Do they know about your feelings for me? Maya shook her head. They know I'm gay, but they pretend not to. We don't talk about my dating life. It's easier for everyone that way. That must be so lonely, Alina said softly. It is sometimes. But I've built my own family friends who accept me, who celebrate me. She smiled. And now I have you. Now you have me, Alina echoed, kissing her. And I'm not going anywhere. The storm finally broke the next day. When the snowplow came through around noon, they could have left immediately. Instead, they lingered, reluctant to return to real life where everything would be more complicated. We should talk about what happens next, Maya said as they packed their bags. When we get back, people will have questions. I know. Lena zipped up her duffel. I'm not ashamed of this of us. But I also know it's going to be a lot. Our whole friend group, my coworkers, everyone who thought they knew me. We can take it as slow as you need, Maya assured her. Come out to people gradually, or all at once, or not at all. Whatever feels right. Lena crossed the room and wrapped her arms around Maya's waist. What feels right is being honest. We've wasted enough time hiding. I want people to know that you're my girlfriend, that I'm stupidly happy, that I'm finally living my truth. Even though it might be hard. Especially because it might be hard. Because you're worth it. Alina kissed her soundly. We're worth it. The drive back to the city was quiet, both of them lost in thought. When Maya pulled up to Elena's apartment, she killed the engine, but neither of them moved to get out. Stay tonight, Alina asked. I don't want to be alone yet. I want to hold on to this feeling a little longer. Your roommate will see, Maya pointed out. I know. I'm ready for her to see. Alina took Maya's hand. I'm ready for everyone to see. That night, curled up in Elena's bed, they talked late into the evening. Alina called the Portland company and officially declined the position. She reached out to local firms she'd turned down earlier. Maya held her through moments of doubt and fear, reassuring her that this was the right choice, not just because it meant staying together, but because Alina was finally making decisions aligned with her truth. Over the following weeks, they navigated the complicated terrain of coming out while falling in love. Some friends were supportive, celebrating their happiness. Others were confused or awkward, needing time to adjust their mental image of Alina. A few pulled away entirely. Unable to reconcile this new version of their friend, Elena's family embraced the relationship wholeheartedly. Carmen invited them both to Sunday dinners and treated them as a couple without fanfare. Elena's sister demanded details about how it happened, squealing with delight at the story of the snowstorm confession. Maya's parents were harder. When she finally worked up the courage to tell them about Elena, they responded with cold silence. Her mother's voice was tight when she said, "We'll pray for you both." It hurt. But Maya had made peace with their limitations years ago. "I wish they could see how happy you make me," Maya said one night, tears sliding down her cheeks as Elena held her. "They will," Elena said fiercely. "One day they'll see and they'll regret missing out on this part of your life. But until then, you have people who love you exactly as you are, including me, especially me." 3 months later, Elena accepted a position at a local architecture firm, one she was genuinely excited about. They celebrated by going on their first official date to the restaurant, where they'd had countless friend dinners over the years. This time, Elena held Maya's hand on top of the table, kissed her openly when dessert arrived, and introduced Maya to everyone as my girlfriend with pride in her voice. 6 months in, they adopted a rescue cat together. A year later, Elena moved into Maya's apartment. They built a life that felt both entirely new and comfortably familiar. The foundation of their friendship now supporting something deeper, richer, more complete. On the anniversary of that snowstorm, they returned to the cabin. This time they came alone on purpose, not by accident. They stood by the window where Maya had first confessed her feelings, watching snow fall in the darkness. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we hadn't been trapped here?" Elena asked, leaning back against Maya's chest. "If we'd gone home that first day like planned?" "Sometimes," Maya admitted. "But I think we would have found our way here eventually. Maybe it would have taken longer, but we were always heading toward this." "You think so?" "I know so. You're it for me, Elena, always have been." Elena turned in Maya's arms, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "I used to be so scared of the word forever. It felt like a trap, this impossible promise. But with you, forever doesn't feel long enough. I want forever and beyond." It's very romantic for someone who once told me she didn't believe in soulmates. Maya teased gently. "I didn't, until I realized I'd been living with mine for 10 years and was too stubborn to admit it." Elena kissed her softly. "You're my best friend and my love and my home. Thank you for waiting for me to catch up. Thank you for being brave enough to leap." Outside, the snow continued to fall, wrapping the cabin in quiet. Inside, the fire crackled, casting dancing light across to women who'd finally found their way to each other. They'd faced confusion and fear, judgment and doubt. But they'd emerged on the other side stronger, together, exactly where they were always meant to be, in the silence of that mountain night, with hidden feelings finally spoken and secret longings fulfilled. Maya and Elena built a new future from the ashes of everything they'd been afraid to want. And in that small cabin, in each other's arms, they discovered that the best love stories aren't the ones that come easily. They're the ones worth waiting for, worth fighting for, worth risking everything to claim as your own. Their story wasn't about dramatic revelations or instant clarity. It was about the slow, terrifying, beautiful process of becoming who you truly are and finding someone who sees you really, sees you and loves what they find. It was about second chances and new beginnings and the courage to rewrite your own narrative. As they lay in bed that night, Lena whispered into the darkness, "I love you. I should have said it before, but I love you." "I love you too," Maya replied. "I always have." And in that perfect moment, with the weight of years finally lifted and the promise of tomorrow stretching ahead, they both knew they were exactly where they belonged, wrapped in each other's arms, no longer hiding, no longer afraid, just two women in love, building something honest and true from the foundation of friendship. That had always been their greatest strength. The silent night held their secrets no more. Hidden feelings had become spoken truths. And they were finally, beautifully, completely themselves. Spring arrived with unexpected gentleness, coaxing green shoots from thawed earth and filling Maya's apartment. Their apartment now with golden afternoon light. Elena stood at the kitchen counter, spreading paint samples across the surface like a deck of cards. What about this one? She asked, holding up a swatch labeled Sage Whisper. For the bedroom. Maya looked up from her laptop, squinting at the pale green square. Didn't we already rule out green last week? That was mint condition. This is completely different. Elena's voice carried that particular mix of earnestness and defensiveness that Maya had learned meant she'd been overthinking something for days. They look identical, too. Me, one has blue undertones. The other has gray undertones. Totally different. Lena arranged the samples in a new configuration, her architect's eye seeking perfect harmony. I want our bedroom to feel peaceful, restful, like we're bringing the cabin into the city. Our bedroom. Even after 3 months of cohabitation, the possessive pronoun still sent warmth flooding through Maya's chest. She saved her work and crossed to wrap her arms around Alina from behind. Resting her chin on her shoulder, I think you could paint it hot pink, and I'd still sleep peacefully. As long as you're there, Maya murmured against Elena's neck. Elena leaned back into the embrace. Some of the tension leaving her shoulders. You're not helping me make a decision. Because the decision doesn't matter as much as you think it does. It's just paint, love. We can always change it. But what if we choose wrong and we have to live with it, and every time we walk in there, we're reminded of our terrible decision-making and, hey. Maya turned Alina around gently, cupping her face. What's really going on? This isn't about paint. Alina's eyes filled with tears, which she quickly blinked away. I have my first therapy appointment tomorrow. Ah. Maya pulled Alina closer, rubbing soothing circles on her back. That's good, right? You've been wanting to talk to someone about everything? I know. But I'm terrified. Elena's voice was muffled against Maya's shoulder. What if she tells me I'm just confused? That I rushed into this relationship without really understanding my sexuality? What if she thinks I'm making a mistake? This fear had surfaced before, usually late at night when Elena's mind spiraled. Maya had learned to recognize the signs, the obsessive planning, the need to control small details when bigger uncertainties loomed. A good therapist won't tell you what to think or feel, Maya said carefully. They'll help you process and understand your own experiences. And Alina, you're not confused. You're figuring things out, which is different. But what if I am confused? What if in 6 months or a year I wake up and realize I made a mistake? That I blew up my entire life because I was caught up in the romance of that snowstorm? Alina pulled back, her eyes searching Maya's face. What if I break your heart? Maya's chest tightened. This was the fear beneath all the others, Alona's terror that her late-blooming queerness was somehow less valid, less permanent, less real than Maya's decade of certainty. You might, Maya said honestly. People change. Relationships end. But Alina, that's true whether you came out at 15 or 25 or 50. Your journey doesn't invalidate your truth right now. But you've known since college. You've had years to be sure. I've had months. And in those months, have your feelings for me felt uncertain? Alina shook her head. No, that's the thing. Being with you is the most certain I've ever felt about anything. It's everything else that scares me, the community, what it means for my future. Then maybe focus on what you know instead of what you don't, Maya suggested. You know you love me? You know this relationship feels right. The rest, the terminology, the identity labels, the long-term implications, you can figure that out with time. Alina kissed her softly. How are you so patient with me? Because I love you. And because I remember being newly out and terrified. Maya smiled. Also, you're worth it. Even when you're spiraling about paint colors. That evening, they ordered Thai food and ate it on the floor of their half-painted living room, surrounded by cardboard boxes they still hadn't fully unpacked. Alina had insisted on repainting before they settled in completely, and Maya had learned to pick her battles. Tell me about your first girlfriend, Alina said suddenly, twirling pad thai around her fork. Your real first girlfriend, not just the philosophy class girl who kissed you. Maya raised an eyebrow. Where's this coming from? I want to know. I want to understand what I missed by spending my 20s dating men I didn't love. Elena's expression was earnest. And maybe I want to know what I'm competing with. You're not competing with anyone, Maya said firmly. But she understood the impulse. Elena was trying to map the territory of queer relationships. To understand the landscape she'd entered, her name was Rachel, Maya began. We met at a campus LGBTQ event my junior year. She was confident, comfortable in her skin in a way I desperately wanted to be. We dated for about 8 months. What happened? We wanted different things. She was ready to move fast, talking about moving in together, meeting families, building a future. I was still figuring out who I was outside of my conservative upbringing. The relationship felt like trying to squeeze into clothes that didn't quite fit. Maya paused. Also, I think I was already a little in love with you by then, even if I couldn't admit it. Elena set down her fork. Really? Really? You were dating that guy from your firm, Marcus? The one who took you to expensive restaurants and talked about himself for hours. God, Marcus, Elena groaned. He once gave me a book about how successful men think as a birthday present. I remember. You called me crying because you felt guilty for not liking it. Maya smiled at the memory, though it had hurt at the time. I wanted to tell you that you deserved someone who actually listened to you, valued your brilliant mind, who made you feel seen. But I couldn't say it without revealing how I felt. So you ended things with Rachel. Eventually. It wasn't fair to her being with someone who was emotionally unavailable. And honestly, I needed to be alone for a while, to figure out who I was separate from my family's expectations or anyone else's needs. Maya met Elena's eyes. I dated a few people after that, but nothing serious. I told myself I was focused on my career, building my business. But really, I was just waiting for you. That's not fair to you, Elena said quietly. Putting your life on hold for someone who might never. I wasn't putting my life on hold. I was living it. Building a career I loved, cultivating friendships, traveling, learning. You were part of that life, just not in the way I wanted. Maya reached for Elena's hand. And maybe if I'd dated more seriously, if I'd really tried to move on, things would be different now. But I don't regret it. Every choice led me here to this moment with you. Elena crawled across the takeout containers to kiss her, tasting of peanut sauce and possibility. When they broke apart, she rested her forehead against Maya's. I'm going to mess this up sometimes, Elena whispered. I'm going to be insecure and scared, and I'm going to ask you the same questions 100 times because I need the reassurance. I know. You're going to get frustrated with me for overthinking everything and not being able to just let things be easy. Probably, Maya agreed. But you'll stay anyway, Elena. Maya pulled back to look her in the eyes. I waited 10 years for you. I'm not going anywhere now. The next afternoon, Maya worked from a coffee shop near Elena's therapist's office, trying to focus on a logo design while her mind wandered. She'd offered to wait in the car, but Elena had insisted she didn't need hand-holding. Still, Maya wanted to be nearby, just in case. Her phone buzzed. Session's done. Can you meet me at the park across the street? Maya found Elena sitting on a bench overlooking a small pond, her face unreadable. She sat down quietly, waiting for Elena to speak first. She was really nice, Elena said finally. Dr. Chen, she didn't judge or pathologize anything. She just listened. That's good. I told her everything. About you, about the men I dated, about feeling like I've been wearing a costume my whole life. Elena turned to face Maya. She said something that really struck me. She said that sexuality can be fluid, that discovering new aspects of ourselves doesn't invalidate our past experiences, that I don't have to explain or justify my journey to anyone. She sounds wise. She also said that a lot of women who come out later in life struggle with imposter syndrome, that we feel like we're not gay enough because we didn't know sooner, or because we were with men before, or because we don't fit certain stereotypes. Elena's voice trembled slightly. It was like she was reading my mind. Maya squeezed her hand. You're not alone in this. There's a whole community of late bloomers who understand exactly what you're going through. I know. Intellectually, I know. But hearing it from someone objective, someone who's helped other people through this, Alina wiped at her eyes. It made it feel real, valid. Like I'm not crazy for appending my entire life at 28. You're not crazy. You're brave. Dr. Chen said that too. Alina laughed wetly. She said that it takes courage to choose authenticity over comfort. That a lot of people spend their whole lives in the closet because it's easier than facing the truth. They sat in comfortable silence, watching ducks glide across the pond. A family walked by, two moms with a toddler between them, all holding hands. Alina watched them with something like wonder on her face. I never let myself imagine that, she said softly. A future like that. With a woman, with kids, maybe just living an ordinary life. I told myself I wanted the traditional path husband's house with a white picket fence, the whole package. But I never could quite picture it. The details were always fuzzy, and now when I picture my future, I see you, and it's not fuzzy at all. It's crystal clear. Alina turned to Maya with a smile. Dr. Chen wants me to come weekly for a while to really process everything. And she suggested I might benefit from a support group for women who came out later in life. How do you feel about that? Terrified, but also relieved. Like maybe I'll find people who understand this weird in-between space I'm in, not straight anymore, but still figuring out what queer means for me. That sounds really healthy, Maya said, and I'm proud of you for taking this step. Alina kissed her cheek. Thank you for being patient with me while I figure all this out. I know it can't be easy watching me spiral. Everyone spirals sometimes. And Alina, this isn't just about you figuring things out. I'm learning, too, how to be in a relationship with someone who's newly out. How to support you without trying to control your journey. How to manage my own insecurities. What insecurities? Maya hesitated, then decided honesty was better than protection. Sometimes I worry that you'll resent me, that you'll look back and feel like I took advantage of your confusion, or that I pushed you into something before you were ready. That you'll wish you'd had more time to explore, to date other women, to figure out your identity separate from our relationship. Lena's eyes widened. Maya, no. You've never pushed me into anything. You've been nothing but supportive, even when I'm being difficult. I know. But I also know that we went from best friends to girlfriends very quickly. You didn't really have time to explore being queer outside of us. And sometimes I wonder if that's fair to you. You want me to date other people? Elena's voice rose slightly, drawing looks from nearby parkgoers. No, Maya said quickly. God, no. But I want you to feel certain about this choice, about us. And if you ever feel like you need space to explore or figure things out, I want you to know that's okay. I'll be hurt, but I'll understand. Alina grabbed both of Maya's hands. I don't want to date other people. I don't need to explore with anyone else. Maya, you are my exploration. Every day with you, I'm discovering new things about myself, what I like, who I am, what kind of love I want to build. And yes, this is all new and scary, but it's not uncertain. You're the most certain thing in my life, okay? Maya said, blinking back tears. Okay, I just needed to say it. To give you the option, well, I'm declining the option, Alina said firmly. You're stuck with me, paint obsession and all. That weekend, they attended their first Pride event together. Maya had been to dozens over the years, but for Alina, it was a baptism by fire, rainbow flags everywhere. Thousands of queer people celebrating openly. The air electric with joy and defiance. Alina gripped Maya's hand tightly as they waded into the crowd. Her eyes were wide, taking in drag queens on floats, lesbian motorcycle clubs, families with kids. Elderly couples who'd been together for decades. The diversity of queer experience spread out before them like a feast. There are so many of us, Alina breathed. Maya smiled. Did you think you were alone? I don't know what I thought. I've never seen this many queer people in one place. It's overwhelming. They found a spot along the parade route, and Maya bought them both rainbow fans to combat the June heat. As they watched, Alina slowly relaxed, her grip on Maya's hand loosening as wonder replaced anxiety. A group of women walked by carrying a banner. Late bloomer lesbians. Elena's breath caught. There really are others like me, she murmured. So many others. You're part of something bigger than just us. Alina, a whole community of people who understand your journey. When one of the women from the late bloomer group made eye contact and smiled, Alina smiled back, tentative but genuine. It was a small moment, barely noticeable in the chaos of pride. But Maya saw it for what it was. Alina recognizing herself in others. Finding her place in the queer tapestry as the sun began to set and the parade gave way to street parties. They walked hand in hand through the celebration. Alina stopped suddenly, pulling Maya close. "Dance with me," she said. "Here, in the middle of the street. Why not? We danced in a hotel parking lot once. This is basically the same thing, just with more people and better music." Maya laughed and pulled Alina into her arms. They swayed together as music pulsed around them, surrounded by celebration but lost in their own world. It was nothing like that first dance 2 years ago that had been tentative, loaded with unspoken longing. This was open, joyful, free. "I love you," Alina said, loud enough to be heard over the music. "I love you too." No. Alina pulled back to look at her. "I love you, and I'm not hiding it anymore. I'm done being afraid of what people think. You're my girlfriend, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of us." Maya kissed her, not caring who saw. Not caring about anything except this moment, this woman, this hard-won happiness. When they finally pulled apart, Alina was crying happy tears this time. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For waiting for me. For loving me through all my confusion and fear. For being patient while I caught up to what you knew all along." Alina wiped her eyes, smearing her mascara. "I know I still have a lot to figure out. But Maya, being here with you, surrounded by all these people living their truths, I finally feel like I'm where I belong." "You are," Maya assured her. "You absolutely are." They stayed until late, soaking in the celebration, the community, the uninhibited joy. When they finally headed home, exhausted and sunburned and happier than either could remember being, Alina kept looking at the rainbow bracelet someone had given her, touching it like a talisman. "Can we come back next year?" she asked as they climbed into bed. "Every year," Maya promised. "For as long as you want." "Good." Alina curled into Maya's arms, fitting perfectly against her side. "Because I think I'm going to need the reminder sometimes. That this is real. That we're real. That I'm not alone in this journey." "You're never alone," Maya said, kissing the top of her head. "Not anymore." As Alina drifted off to sleep, Maya lay awake a while longer, thinking about how far they'd come. 6 months ago, they'd been trapped in a cabin confessing feelings that had been buried for years. Now they were building a life together, navigating the beautiful mess of new love and self-discovery. It wasn't always easy. Alina still had moments of panic, still questioned herself, still needed reassurance. And Maya still sometimes felt the old fear that this was too good to be true, that Alina would realize she'd made a mistake. But they were learning how to communicate, how to hold space for each other's insecurities, how to build something stable on the foundation of years of friendship. They were learning that love wasn't just the rush of new romance, but also the quiet, daily choice to show up. To be honest, to keep choosing each other even when it was hard. Maya looked down at Alina, her face peaceful in sleep, and felt a surge of gratitude so intense it nearly hurt. For the snowstorm that had forced them together. For Elena's courage in facing her truth. For every moment that had led them here. Outside, the city hummed with its usual chaos. But in their small apartment, in their sage-green bedroom, Alina had finally decided. Wrapped in each other's arms, they had found something rare and precious. A love that had been worth waiting for, worth fighting for, worth every moment of uncertainty and fear. And as Maya finally drifted off to sleep, she knew with absolute certainty that this was just the beginning. They had so much more to discover about themselves, about each other, about the life they would build together. But for now, this was enough, more than enough. It was everything.